Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Old Guy Paintball. I'm Craig, and I am your host. This week, we're going to be calling it Let's Just Talk Paintball. Lots of things to discuss what's going on in the paintball world. Right now, I'm in northern Ohio, and it's kind of a crummy weekend, so I couldn't get out and play, and the weather has kind of hampered fields getting started, but hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, things will get better and I'll get out and start getting you some real good new game action with my new cameras and with just somewhere I play. But always keep an eye out for the shorts. I have been posting up some videos last year of playing and just to kind of get everybody in the mood for paintball. But looking forward to better weather ahead, and hopefully where you're at, the weather's good and you're already out playing. But one of the things I wanted to discuss this week was last week I posted a short about issues at Ninja Paintball. I have not had any official confirmation. There's nothing on their website, social media platforms, that they are officially going out of business. It is strictly a rumor that has been floating around that Ninja Paintball will be shutting down their operations sometime here in the near future. Some of the things I know I talked about that in the past few months, it seems to have been very difficult to find their products at a lot of paintball stores on the shelves. And it's made me wonder that there's something going on, because there used to never be a real problem in the past. But in the past, probably 2 to 3 years, they've definitely had some serious competition from HK Army, Powerhouse Regs, and a few other companies have really stepped up their game and creating lighter tanks and larger volume tanks. And I think it's cut into some of their product lines. I've also, on my social media pages that I've had several people talk about they've had issues with quality and some of the functions of their equipment, and many have turned away to other companies in the past couple of years. Nobody seems to really know, and until we hear an official word from them, again, it is just a rumor, but it is something to be cautious, where several companies have already talked about, who do retail sales, has pretty much said that they will service with what they have in spare parts, but when it's gone, it seems like they're not going to get much of a restock value coming in anytime soon. So we'll have to stay tuned for that one. But it is something discouraging, because I know I have used Ninja Paintball products for probably the past 10 years now, and I've never really had an issue with them. So yeah, it's definitely something we're going to have to watch out for going forward. As our equipment wears out, we may be switching to different brands. If anybody else has heard anything, again, please post them in the comments below, and if you have any opinions on it, it's a good place to put it as well. And also, remember to hit that like button on this video. It helps the channel out a lot. Another thing I want to talk about is the NXL. It'll be the Atlantic City Open coming on May 2nd and 4th. They just dropped the playlist, as I would call it, and how the brackets are. And we're going to go over that real quick. It looks like it's going to be a very good tournament. It's a good time of year to be against Atlantic City. But right now, here's how the brackets are, if you haven't already seen them. Group A, Paintball Fit, AC Diesel, X Factor, Infamous, and NRG Elites. Group B will be Dynasty, Heat, Aftershock, Arsenal, and New York Extreme. Group C, Edmonton Impact, Damage, Hurricanes, Tauntaun, and Leverage. And Group D will be Russian Legion or Red Legion, Uprising, Ironman, Royal City Sea Dogs, and Aftermath. Looking at the brackets overall, I don't see a really overall tough bracket. This looks like, again, a pretty good spread of how teams are balanced out. Sometimes, there's people who think Group B and C, with Dynasty and Impact leading those, are going to be tough ones. I do agree that B does look maybe a little bit tougher than other ones, because you have Dynasty and Heat in there. But Aftershock and Arsenal, well, you don't know which team's showing up for that one, so it might not be as tough as it seems. I see where people can see on Group C. Impact and Damage, they're good teams, and you're not sure with the Hurricanes and whether Tauntauns or Leverage are going to really step up. Again, you don't know which one's coming to play. But overall, I don't see, anything that's super difficult because it's still early in the season. And some teams have struggled. We haven't seen some teams really, we shouldn't see too many roster changes other than maybe for an injury or if someone decides that they have some major problem or something with a team that they step away. So the rosters are going to probably stay fairly consistent now for the rest of the year. But overall, I look at the bracket, it's not looking, super difficult. And you never know, what could happen. Weather, just how the layout is might favor some teams over others. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes out here. In just about a month from now, it'll take place. But we're hoping to see the field released if they do it. I know last year it was a blind release because of the rain out in Texas. But we haven't heard too much so far how it's going to pan out. But we'll see if they have a field release here in the next week or so, and if teams can get out and start scrimmaging on it and getting some practice time. But overall, it's another toss-up field. So if you have any thoughts on that, put them in the comments below. Who you think might be stepping up, and I might do a closer to the time frame. Maybe do a more in-depth report on a preview if anything changes. But right now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good tournament, and I'm excited to see it. Also, we have coming up will be the college paintball finals. It is not necessarily considered a college sport. It's more of a club sport. There's no real sanctioning body for college paintball. It's bounced around from a couple different organizations. I believe that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. They have an unusual setup where they have alumni teams and regular teams, and I think they're trying to do that to get teams back playing. Almost every school, there is pretty much no scholarship and very little, if any, funding from the athletic departments of those participating schools and universities. And most of this is all funded either through some form of fundraising drives themselves. They might get a limited bit of sponsorship from some organizations, but they get very, very little from the actual athletic department themselves. So if you know a college program that has a fundraiser, is doing some, if you have a few extra bucks, help them out and get them going. It'd be nice to get college paintball back up to the way it was a few years ago and get more schools involved, more kids involved, and maybe if it gets big enough, maybe scholarships again. But I'll have some more on that if it comes out. But look for that under the National Association of College Paintball. I believe that's who the organization is doing it this year. It will be in Kissimmee, Florida, which is where they hold the NXL events, especially World Cup. I believe it's going to be held down there or down in that area. It might be at Tiki's Paintball, I think, is hosting it. I really haven't got a whole lot of information. They don't have a lot going on. I don't think it's going to be streamed very much if it is. So we may not get a lot of information coming out of that till the event actually happens. But that's also another good chance to watch some of our young and up-and-coming paintball players of the future. And with that, paintball's starting to get going at a lot of fields right now. And most of our fields are getting ready to open if they haven't, especially here in the northern half of the United States. West Coast Paintball League had their first event. I know there's been some other events at the West Coast are starting to get going. Midwest Paintball is starting to get some of their events actually underway. So it's time for the season to get going for a lot of us. Like I said, the weather's been kind of crummy around here. We've had a lot of rain, and it's been kind of difficult to get out and play right now. But I'm itching like everybody else to get out there. Been working on my gear. It's a good time to go over your stuff, check your paintball markers out, clean them, get them ready, make sure your gear is ready to go. So when that first weekend comes out, you're ready to go. And I also apologize that the videos might be a little bit in between scheduling right now. I just did go through a job change. I'm on a completely different schedule than what I was before. It's been a very positive move for me. But you might see some inconsistency in posting here for a couple weeks till I get adjusted to this new schedule and get some more time to get videos. So please be patient with me, and we'll get through this as soon as possible and get back to a much more regular schedule, hopefully. And also with that, I also ask for your help. Do you have any ideas or subjects you'd like me to talk about? Please put them in the comments below. And if not, you can send me an email if you wish to remain private about things. We will not disclose anybody who sends a email. But I also, could use some ideas for upcoming shows. If there's something you want to talk about or you want me to explore more in depth, I'll look into it. And with that, hey, I want to thank everybody for their support. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's continue to help Old Guy Paintball grow. And with that, I hope to see all of you on the paintball field soon.